Welcome back to the Hope Kitchen. I'm Mark. Today we are going back to France, but not for omelets. We're going to make galettes. This is sort of an easy pie, but it's kind of, the word is rustic, which means kind of rough looking, but it's still pretty and it's still tasty and it uses most of the same ingredients as a pie. It's just a lot easier to make. Tools you will need for this: vegetable peeler or a knife. If you have one, an apple corer is really good, but I'm going to show you how to prepare your apple both with an apple corer or without. This is a pastry blender. I never use these anymore. These are the best pastry cutters. You use your fingertips. Tablespoons, cups, rolling pin. This was my mom's rolling pin. So that's very special to me, so you should use your mom's and it'd be really special for you because that helps you put the love in. I have an assistant over here. I don't know if you can see her or not, but it's Miss Jessa. And she's going to be running the food processor to make the pastry or the crust. I'm going to be doing it by hand because some of you might not have a food processor. But what you're going to find out is that the food processor is so much quicker and so much faster. So to begin with, we're going to go to flour. We need 1.5 cups of flour. I have a half cup here, just so you can put 3 of those in your, measure it. She's getting it as much as she can, which is good. That's 1.5 cups. And I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to put it in my bowl. Then we're going to add some sugar, 1.5 teaspoons, 3 of those, or you can use a teaspoon and 1 of those. Up to you. Okay, and we're going to get 3 of those in my bowl. And then we use just a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. This is kosher salt. Jess is going to close up that food processor, and she's going to pulse that just a couple times, and I'm going to mix it up. This recipe calls for 10 tablespoons of butter. The butter that you get at the market has tablespoons marked out. See, this is a half a cup or 1 stick. But it's 8 tablespoons. So you can cut the 2 tablespoons that you'll need extra off of here and make it, and you'll have 2 exactly. And we cut that into cubes. Okay, that's 8 that goes into your food processor. And I'm going to give you 2 here. You can unwrap that and put that in. And then I need half of this, which is a 1/4. That's good. You can go ahead and close that up and just blend that in till the butter is nice and chopped up in there. Okay, now you'll notice what she just did. She just pulsed it and it became very fine. But what I'm doing, as I said, this is slower, but if you don't have a food processor, this is what you have to do. With your fingertips, you're going to push some flour into that butter, and you're just going to keep mushing it. Now you want to sprinkle 1/3 of a cup. Just sprinkle it on the top, and now you're going to pulse it, but you're going to keep going around and around until that forms a nice pastry. Almost there, almost there. One more, one more, one more. That's good. See, it's all gathered up in there. She's done. She has a pastry, all done. Me, I'm still pinching up a 1/3 cup of water and sprinkle it on the top. And this is going to take and get my hands. Something really quick. You can at the grocery buy ready-made pie crust. I almost have my pastry done, but Jessa was done so much a long time ago that she won the race. We take a piece of plastic wrap, and we roll that up, kind of press it down, make a little disc out of it. You can see that this pastry is all done. Another piece of plastic. Now you can make this ahead of time. You can make this a day in advance. Now the recipe says you can chill this or you can use it right away. I'm going to put this in the refrigerator for a minute. Okay, I have this pastry that was made earlier this morning that I did from the refrigerator. It's a little hard, so I'm just going to let it sit out here for a minute. I am going to show you how to do the apples very quickly. I have an apple corer. Let's see what happens when we do the apple corer. We just stick it in there, kind of twist our way down. and dig a hole in the middle, and we've taken the core out. That's called coring the apple. Now with this one, I'm going to use the knife to take the skin off. It's always a challenge for me to see if I can get the skin off in one piece, and I already didn't do it. Okay, so there's that apple cored and peeled. Now for this apple, what I'm going to do is use the vegetable or fruit peeler, kind of dig in there. Again, you're spinning the apple in your hand and you're bringing the peeler just around. See where my thumb is before the blade to kind of guide it around, guide it around. I hope you guys are doing some of this food. I talked to somebody the other day that made the fried rice. I hope it came out well. See, we got one piece of apple skin, and you can eat this if you want. Give it to your rabbits, give it to your tortoise. I'm going to cut the apple in half. Be very careful. I'm going to cut it in half again, and I'm going to cut it in half again. Now this is the part, again, your parents should be helping you with the knife. And then you're going to cut down, and I make this nice little wedge, and I pull that out, and then you have that kind of an apple. And that's what's going to get the seeds out, or the core out. The slices, they say about 1/4 of an inch thick, and that all goes in with the other chunks that I have. Now, if your apples are going to sit for a little while, you can take some lemon juice. Make sure you're not putting any seeds in there, and just squeeze that lemon juice right in there, and that will keep it fresh. And we take a little bit of flour, and we dust our counter, dust our rolling pin, and you see this takes a little bit of effort because it's still a little cold and a little stiff, but we want to roll out, about a 14-inch. There we go. Now, this is a very important step that a lot of times when I make my galettes at home, I forget to do. We have to take this pastry and transfer it to our cookie sheet now, not after we put our fruit in it. Otherwise, you'll never get it out. The fruit's going to weep through it. Roll it gently onto our rolling pin, and you have it. I've put a little bit of cornmeal on my, my cookie sheet here. And there you have your pastry there. We take the chunked apples, and we just put it right here on top of our pastry. Then we're going to take about a tablespoon of honey and just drizzle it over the top. 2 tablespoons of sugar. And then a half a teaspoon of cinnamon. And we just stir that up a little bit. And this is the fun part. This is the part that is what some people would call artistic, but you can put these apples that you cut that are still slices and just wrap them around and make a nice circle. These are what they call concentric circles. And then we take our cinnamon sugar and we just shake that over the top. And now here's the fun part for these. This is the galette part. What you're going to do is fold this over about 1 inch. This is going to hold all the juices in and keep your fruit together. And you can, don't worry if it folds a little bit. That's good. That's going to give it a very pretty thing. Take a tablespoon of butter and pinch and dot it with that butter, and that's going to just give it a bit of a juiciness that you won't get if you lay it or if you put it together without it. Okay, now our oven has been preheating to 400 degrees. And 400 degrees is very hot, so you have to be very careful. This will bake for about 50 minutes, 50. So this will go into the oven. Look at that, 50 minutes later, you have a galette. You can serve it warm, you can serve it at room temperature. It's delicious. Have fun making galettes. Send us some feedback and let us know if you make them and how they came out.